enlighten youth here. So I hope that you will in future come with the youth forum also, which we keep on Friday here, Saturday morning your time. But we'll inform you. But we have a suggestion that if you come, our youth get enlightened. So please take that into consideration. I know you are very busy, but we are humbly request you that you can make. Also, we do have a Gaur Katha program during March 2nd till 12. So there are 2 days available. And we would like to know if you are, I'm sure Prempriya Mataji may have contacted you.
Yes. She has sent me the dates. I'm yet to look into my calendar.
Yes.
But
So any of these days you are available, Prabhuji, please shower mercy on us and enlighten us. Thank you so much. So with this, I will give it to Bhavagrahi Prabhuji for your introduction, and then we can begin the session, Prabhuji. Thank you so much again for coming to our Parsati Foundation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you very much for giving me the chance to introduce you. To introduce a personality like you, it's not, we are not qualified for that, but it's just for our glorification. And as Prabhuji said that, it has been long time. To us, it looks like it's Brahma's at least 1 week that you haven't been here for Brahma. That's what it looks like, because we've been missing you, Prabhuji, a lot. So just to talk about Amogh Lilla Prabhu, presently he is the Vice President in ISKCON Dwarka, New Delhi, India. And he has completed his BTech Computer Science in Delhi University, co-faculty in IMS Ahmedabad, and teaching principles, ethics and morality in leadership. And he also has many, I mean, if I just keep on going for it, he has so many achievements. But spiritually, what he does, it's just amazing. Whatever he does it from bottom of his heart, and he always attracts the opponent, whoever it is, whether it's a crowd in Delhi, or it's crowd on YouTube, or it's crowd on any media platform, because whenever he speaks, he always speaks from the heart, and it always touches the heart. So people get interacted with him, and they start following him, and they just follow the principle. So we are so glad to have Prabhuji on our Zoom platform. And as I said, he is very much attracting our youth, and we have many youths too. Not myself, I'm not a youth anymore. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for accepting.
Prabhuji, you are on mute. Hare Krishna, Bhavre, Prabhuji.
Sorry. So let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and welcome and thank Prabhuji for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Amogh Lilla Prabhu ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare.
Bol Parsati Foundation Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really honored and very joyful that to be amongst this wonderful, beautiful, joyful, and blessed community of devotees. So the topic, I think which we discussed, Prempriya Mataji, there was life apps, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, good, wonderful. So there are various apps, of course, like in our mobile phones, we have got various apps. So we keep the important apps on the first widget, and then those who are not so important then on the second widget, and then those who are least important on the third and fourth and other widget. But there are people who do not manage their apps properly. They do not know which apps are to be kept in the first widget, which one on the second and third. And then every time they have to scroll so much to reach to their most desired app. Many of the apps we do not even know how do they function, what is their purpose, but they are there. So what to do? Like in Apple especially, I see so many apps are there, which people do not know what to do with this app. Only manufacturer knows. We made such an app so that you can have such a complicated thing to do in your complicated life. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for this simple explanation of the complicated app in my mobile phone. Thank you very much. But yes, usually we are to keep the important apps on the first widget, right? So what are some of the life apps which are most important apps? So first app, I would say, is a relationship app. in life, most important are relationships. Yes, even if somebody is very wealthy, very aristocratic, he has fame, he has got power, beauty, fame, anything which we think is success, the person is having it, still the person is not happy. Reason being, the person is not having healthy relationships. There are people who are on the apex of their career. They have reached that top level where people really aspire for to reach there by all of their hard work, by all of their earnestness, but yet they are not happy because their relationships are not happy. So most important app in our lives is relationship. Even in spirituality, we see it is all about relationship. If you are to chant Hare Krishna, it is about relationship of mine with the holy name. If I do not have good relationship with the holy name, I can't chant well. If I can't have good, if I don't have relationship with my guru, I can't have a happy guru-disciple relationship, and I will not be happy in this relationship. Deities appear to be wooden. Deities appear to be statue. Why? Because I don't have relationship with them. Life is all about relationship. Yes. And we see that people in this world often try to acquire things and success, compromising their relationships. Like one of my friends, he used to have his goal that in every 3 years, he used to become boss of his boss. So such a person can become maybe in board of directors and maybe chairman or something like that. But this person on the top would be lonely, and this loneliness eats the person. And this desire to have relationship is so inherent that if in case it is not fulfilled with human beings, then we try to fulfill it by dogs and cats. And that's why we see people keep these cats and dogs at home. My puppy is so good, it's so warm. They say, hey, Tommy, hey. We are Tommy Hilfiger, and I got my Tommy so that I can pamper my Tommy. But I'm so lonely. Lonely. I am so lonely. Why are you so lonely? Because I never valued relationships. That's the thing. So relationships are a very, very important part of our life. In case you are carrying a cake for your family, your father told you, your mother told you, go beta, bring cake from the bakery, and then you are carrying the cake. We are so very diligent, very conscious while carrying the cake, very careful. Yes, even when we are putting it in the car, say, no, don't put it in the car. I'll put it on my lap. Yes, we are very careful while carrying the cake. Similar way, we should be carrying relationships very carefully. Yes, very carefully. We should carry them. Like when you go to market and you're going to purchase grapes. So there are two kinds of grapes available. I don't know in USA whether this facility is there. In India, it is there. There are two classes of grapes. One is which are there in the group. They are there together. And those which are dispersed, which are no more part of the group, they are now dispersed. They are alone now. They are on their own. So they are now not part of the group of the grapes. So which grape, which class of grapes we get on high price, which one on the low price? Those which are not part of the group, they are sold in economical price. They are cheaper. And those which are there together, they are costlier, right? Similarly, when we are together, then we have some value. And when we are dispersed, when we are not there with each other, when we are separated, then we lose our value. So that's why we should try to be together. Yeah. Another very good example about seeing the relationship is that of a nice suitcase. Like in case there is a suitcase which is very solid, very strong, and it has got multiple pockets, and the finish is very nice, and inside cloth which is used is also velvet. It is very cushiony from inside, and the briefcase is not having a handle. Although, would you go for such a briefcase? No. Although it has got everything so deluxe in itself, but the handle is not there. Similarly, in our lives, when we have got everything best of the best, so good, But in case there is no handle, that means relationships are not there. If we cannot handle our relationships and relationships handle the rest of the part of our life, when the handle is not there, we will not be happy. We do not want such life where there is success, where we have everything, yet the handle is not there. That is the relationships. Ideally, we should use things and love people. But in this world, we see that often people love things and use people. Other way around. We shouldn't be doing that. Otherwise, our life would be miserable. Yes. So in relationships, certainly we have to be very, very careful. And one very important aspect of relationships or healthier relationships is gratitude. Attitude of gratitude. Very, very important. Like Arjun, he was always carrying this attitude of gratitude. Like before the starting of the war, he shot arrows at the lotus feet of Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama, that I've learned so much from you. Now I'm going to have war in which I'm to battle against you, but you were worshipable, you are worshipable, and you will remain worshipable to me. Wow, that's so nice. Attitude of gratitude. But there are people who have absolutely no gratitude. Like nowadays, I see youngsters, they don't have any sense of gratitude towards their teachers, their parents. And they say, well, why should we be grateful? Reason being, well, it's their duty. What teachers are doing is their duty. What parents are doing is their duty. Why should I say, thank you, Dad? Thank you, Mom. Please. It's their duty. What they are doing is their duty. So don't say thank you to them. Excuse me, sir. We should say thank you. Sometimes out of intimacy also people say, well, in our relationship, no sorries, no thank yous. All right. But in the beginning, they may say, but as soon as when the time comes and the person did not seek sorry, did not seek apology, we see that relationship goes hayway. Yes. So that's why when there is an opportunity or when there is an event which is forcing us to say sorry or we have to apologize, we should say sorry. Or in case there is an opportunity so that I am to forgive someone, I should forgive the other person. We should do that. So thank yous and sorries are a very important part of relationship. Like there is saying, love not expressed is not love. So love has to be expressed. Like during Valentine's Day, people, when they have feelings for each other, they also express it. They also express it by some kind of gesture. So that's why we are to express as well. Like some people say, whether you prefer to be spiritual or religious. So just to appear very cool, they say, well, I think I'm quite spiritual, but I'm not religious. And by saying this, so that it makes person sense very cool. Okay, wow, the person is quite religious, but not spiritual. Also spiritual, but not religious. Nice. Wow, what an intellectual statement. But actually, it is not an intellectual statement. Spirituality and religiosity are two sides of the same coin. Yes. What is spirituality? Are the feelings. And when we express those feelings, is known as religion. Just like if on Valentine's Day, somebody has feelings and he expresses through a bouquet. So that's the way he's expressing it, right? In case the boy says, well, baby, I have feelings for you, but I got no bouquet for you. But believe me, in my heart, there are a lot of feelings for you. And the girl would say, nonsense. You have absolutely no feelings. In case you had feelings, you would have brought at least a bouquet, at least a rose flower for me, you nonsense. You dry-hearted, stone-hearted person. So whenever there would be love, it would be expressed. Yes. So we should express it as well. So spirituality is there, that means the feelings. And religion means I'm now expressing it. My spirituality is getting expressed through a gesture, through an act. So both are required. Yes. So both complement each other. So we should express it as well. Yeah. Love not expressed is not love. That's very important that we should express it. Also, one more very important aspect of relationships is expression and suppression. Apart from expression, there is also suppression. In case we are not expressing ourselves, we are somewhere we are downsizing our humanness. And when we are not allowing the other person to express, that means suppression is there on the other side, then somewhere we are being insensitive. And sensitivity is a very important part of relationships. Yes. Also in relationships, it's very important that we believe in we. One is I, one is we. When I is replaced with we, then illness becomes wellness. So I has to be replaced with we. Like once there was a person, he went to a sadhu, he said, Sadhu, I want peace. Sadhu said, excuse me, can you please repeat again? He said, well, Sadhu, I'm saying that I want peace. Sadhu said, first two words are problem. I means ego, and want means desires, materialistic, selfish desires. If you remove these two, then what is left is peace. So I want peace. So ego has to be removed, materialistic passions are to be removed, and then you are left with peace. Till the time you are having ego, I is there, want is there, you cannot have peace. Life would be in pieces, but peace would be far, far away. So that's why it is also very important that we should remove all of these ulterior motives in relationships. Like in case there are two wooden blocks, and when we rub these wooden blocks, so the fire ignites, the fire comes to surface. But in case one of the wood is wet, so irrespective how much you rub the woods, the fire would not come, because in one of the woods there is some water. In case both the woods are having water, or both of them are wet, so then there is absolutely no question that there would be fire. Similarly, in our relationships as well, when there is wetness of selfishness, ulterior motives, then in such a case, relationships do not flourish. That means the fire of love would not be there, because out of the two, one is having some ulterior motives, or the other person is having ulterior motives, or both of them are having ulterior motives. In case both of them are having ulterior motives, then they cannot have the fire of loving service. Yes. Like in between, when we see a relationship between Krishna and the devotees, Krishna doesn't have any ulterior motive. And the pure devotee of Krishna is also having no ulterior motive. Nothing. And that's why we see that most beautiful relationship is between Krishna and his devotees, because there is absolutely no ulterior motive. Wow. So, of course, nothing can match the purity of relationship which we have between Krishna and the devotees. There's no match. But we can take some inspiration in our lives that we should also try to have no ulterior motives. But in this world, if you see the love, the nature of love is that it has ulterior motives. Both the persons, they are not really loving the other person. Other person is just an object to fulfill my desires, my desire to have fun, joy. I should have fun. That's it. Until the time other person is fulfilling this desire of mine, I love you. I love you too. As soon as that's the sense gratification of mine, my senses are not getting gratified, bye-bye. So first year, one Valentine, second year, second Valentine, third year, third Valentine, fourth year, fourth Valentine. Every year it is changing. Dil kabutar khana hai, har kisi ka aana jana hai. People come and go. Why? Why? Because it is not that I love someone. I just love my senses. I just love my mind. And the other person is just an object to fulfill that passion, that selfishness, so that I can gratify my senses. So I love you too is nothing but keep gratifying my senses, I'll keep gratifying yours. Okay. All right. So this agreement of mutual sense gratification is known as love. Love, love, love. One more symptom of love is that there is ever increasing bliss. What is the nature of love? But in this world, we see that there is no ever increasing bliss. In the beginning, there is an increasing bliss. But as soon as there is some physical intimacy, and then there is fall in this bliss. In the beginning, there is rise, but then it falls as well. Yeah, because the goal was just physical intimacy. That's it. And then love comes down as well. Yeah, but I wanted to explore. I'm done. That's it. So bliss is never ever increasing. Yeah. One more quality of true love is that nothing can stop it. Not even death can stop it. That is true love. So in previous two tests, that means there is ever increasing bliss and there is no ulterior motive. One may still pass. Okay, in our love, there is no ulterior motive. And we enjoy it throughout our life. The third test, everyone is going to fail. And third test is that nothing can stop it. Not even death can stop it. But in this world, Laila, Majnun, Romeo, Juliet, Shiri, Farhad, Veer, Zara, Bunty, Bubbly, they are together, but as per the karma, then they have to move ahead in their own lives. So that's why we see that ultimately death puts an end to everything. So in case say Laila was very pious, she was very charitable, and Majnu was always a drunkard, was a meat eater, he'll go to hell, and Laila will go to heaven. So separated. So Laila will have her Majnu now in heaven, and Majnu will go to hell. There is no Laila in hell, of course. So that ways we see that death puts an end to all of this love. So these are three criterias of true love. There is ever increasing bliss, no ulterior motives, and nothing can stop it. Not even death can stop it. So in these three tests, the love of this world fails miserably. Yes, this happens. Like there is a anecdote of a relationship between the milk and the water. The milk told water that water, you submerged yourself in me. So that's why now you have become part of me. You lost your Swarupa, your identity in my identity. So then let me tell you, my dear water, I will let you sell in my price. Like milk is sold costlier than the water. He said, I'll sell you same price as I get sold. Same price. So the water said, okay, milk, friendship. In future, whenever you are now boiling, I would first evaporate. Then you evaporate. But then the milk said, whenever this is happening, that you are getting evaporated, I will jump into the fire to extinguish the fire so that you do not get separated from me. Wow. What a friendship between the milk and the water. Wow. But what separates the milk and the water? It's lemon. When some lemon is squeezed in the water, so then water is separated from the milk. So what is this lemon? Lemon is certainly misunderstandings, or it can be communication gap, or it can be ulterior motives, or it can be selfishness. That's there in this world. Yeah. So relationships are to be taken care of, and we should regularly invest in our relationships. Just like in a bank account, we regularly invest. In case somebody doesn't invest in bank account, but is always signing a check, but is not investing in the bank account, only signing the check, but there is no investment as such, then what happens to the check after some time? It gets bounced because there was no investment. That's it. Similarly, in our relationships also, when we do not invest in terms of time, in terms of energy, when we do not invest in relationships, then when there comes a time to withdraw, in the sense we ask for some favor, there is no favor, there is no help. Yes, this happens. So we should regularly invest in our relationships. Often I see that among the parents, mothers, they give time to children, but father is not able to give time. He's so busy. So whenever I see that when parents, they come to me, so among the parents, the mothers are there to have to share the concerns about the children, but fathers, they never come. They are, firstly, because they are too bindas, they're too cool in their life, and they're so busy also, so busy that they don't have time for their children. Once a child came to his father, he said, "Dad, what's your salary, Dad?" He said, "Well, it is $12,000 every month." Okay, $12,000 every month. Wow, that's wonderful. So, so how much do you earn each day? So it's like $40. Yeah, $40. Yeah, $400 every day. 4,000. Yeah, $400. $400 every day. Okay. So half day, that means $200. Okay. So child gave $50 to the father. "Dad, can I have an hour with you?" So this is so shameful for the father that he has no time for the child, being so busy, so busy. So when we talk about relationships, we are to invest in relationships. Just like in a bank account, we invest. When we do not invest, we can't withdraw. So similarly, we should invest. Like a relationship between Krishna and the devotees, we see Krishna invests so much in devotees. Devotees give their lives to Krishna. So much investment is there with no expectation of withdrawal. Never, ever. And that's why this relationship is so sublime, so beautiful. Investing, investing, investing. Relationships. Another app, which is also connected to relationship app, is very important app, is the forgiveness app. We often carry so much grudge in our hearts. And because of that grudge, our relationships, they get spoiled. Because there is grudge, there is lava I carry in my heart. So externally, I may appear to be normal, but in my heart, there is grudge. There is lava. That's how can somebody do this to me? An injustice. It was wrong. It was an insult. I'm carrying that lava in my heart. And often we see that when we are not able to forgive, then who is suffering the most? We are suffering the most, right? We are suffering. So we should learn to seek forgiveness. We should learn to be forgiven, and we should learn to seek forgiveness as well. But when there is ego, then we are not able to do that. Like there is saying that relationships do not die a natural death. They are always murdered by ego. I repeat, relationships they do not die a natural death, a normal death. They are always murdered by ego. So we are to save ourselves, safeguard ourselves from this powerful enemy of relationship, the poison for relationship, and that is ego. We should safeguard ourselves, but we should seek forgiveness. Like they are saying, forgiveness is such a magical thing. It cools the sting and it warms the heart. Usually what happens when there is a sting, that place is hot. Ooh, I just got a sting from a scorpion. Oh, sting. And when we are carrying grudge against someone, then the heart becomes cold. In the sense, relationships become cold. Yeah. But forgiveness is a magical thing. The heart is cold and the sting is warm, right? So it reverses. It cools the sting and it warms the heart. That means relationships become better, warm, loving. And that sting where I was feeling pain, I'm released from that trauma. I'm relieved from that pain by forgiveness. So forgiveness is certainly very, very important aspect. We can also see that in our lives also. We are living a normal life because somewhere somebody has forgiven us. Our parents have forgiven us. Our friends have forgiven us. Our teachers have forgiven us. This Mother Earth, on which we do so much of nonsense, she has forgiven us. God has forgiven us. We have done so many wrong things in life, but we are being forgiven. When we are forgiven, so we should also seek forgiveness. In the sense, we should also have the heart to forgive someone. That's also very important. So forgiveness. Now, when it comes to forgiveness, so person may say, well, why should I forgive? This person deserves to be punished. This person deserves to be punished. Yes, yes. When we forgive someone, forgiveness is a gift which we give to the other person. No. Forgiveness is a gift which we give to our own selves, not to the other person, to our own selves. You might have experienced this in your life. When you have forgiven someone, the head becomes cool. I was carrying so much of lava. So the head becomes cool. Why? Because now I was keeping somewhere here, and that too rent free. How come I can keep somebody here rent free? In case if I got a building and there is an upper story, and if I keep someone in that upper story, I would take some rent, right? But if I'm carrying someone here, but I'm not taking any rent at all, what's this? And that too, this life is becomes miserable because I'm carrying the person here, not out of love, not peacefully, but out of grudge. So that's not certainly good. So when you forgive, we become relieved. We become cool and calm. So that's why it's very important to forgive. Reason being, we are relieved from that burden. Forgiveness. Also, sometimes we have to forgive because I value relationships more than winning over an argument. Like once there was a father and the son, and they were jogging. And as they were jogging, son said, Dad, I want to get married, Dad. Father stopped. What? What? What did you say? So I said, Dad, I want to get married. Everyone gets married. So I also want to get married. Nonsense! How dare you say that you want to get married? And that too in a morning walk? Morning walk is meant to express a desire that I want to get married? How? This is height of stupidity. Height of stupidity. The son said, excuse me, Dad, what's wrong? Everyone gets married. So I also want to get married. Shut up. Say sorry to me now. Now. But that's sorry for what? Say sorry to me now. Okay, Dad, cool. Cool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dad. And then the father said, now you are ready to get married. Yes. Now you are ready to get married. When there is no mistake of yours, still you are ready to say sorry. That means you are ready to get married. In married life, this happens. Sometimes we have to say sorry because I value relationship more than winning over an argument. I can keep my ego aside because I value a relationship more than anything. Are we ready to say thank you, even though there is no mistake? But just so that just because I value this relationship, I'm saying thank you. I'm saying I'm sorry. Am I ready to do that? So this is also one more part of apology or forgiveness, that to say sorry, even though there is no mistake. And this is a height of humility. It requires a lot of humbleness to do that I know I'm not a mistake. So sometimes when the other person is angry, so how to diffuse anger of the angry person? So there are 6 steps to diffuse the anger of the angry person. Step 1, listen. Step 2, listen. Step 3, listen. Okay. Step 1, listen. Step 2, listen. Step 3, listen. Yes. The one who is angry, just listen to the concern of the person. He's angry. Listen. 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 Step 4, empathize. That you can say, well, if I would have been in your position, I would have also become similarly angry. Yes. Empathize. And then step 5. Step 5 is filling up the gaps in the story. Sometimes people are angry, but they do not know the complete story. And now they're angry on this incomplete story which they have. So we can fill in the blanks and we can tell, well, this is also part of story. This is also part of story. And in this way, this was not the intent. The intent was that it got perceived like this. So we can fill in the gaps. That's important. That's step 5. And then step 6. The 6th step is apologize. Whatever it is, but you felt bad. I hurt you. So I'm very, very sorry. Sincerely, I apologize. So there are 6 steps to diffuse the anger of the angry person. Step 1, listen. Step 2, listen. Step 3, listen. Step 4, empathize. Step 5, fill in the gaps in the story. Step 6, sincerely, honestly, from the core of your heart, apologize. I really, really apologize. I'm very, very sorry that I made you feel bad. I'm very, very sorry. That's what we should be doing. In this way, the angry person would be diffused. His anger would be completely diffused. Yes. Often I see that either people snub the other person's anger, or what they do is they mock the person. No, we should never ever do this. So apology is very important. Also, one more important part of apology is that seeing the bigger picture. Why should I forgive? Well, I should see the bigger picture. Often that particular problem is not the problem. The mind getting stuck in that problem and not able to exit, that's a real problem. So we should know how to exit. And this exiting becomes easier when there is lubrication of forgiveness. Yes. So that's why we have to see the bigger picture of life, that this is whatever happened, it's an incident in life. It's part of life, but not the heart of life. God should be heart of life. Not that this is just a part of life. It's okay. So seeing the bigger picture in life will help us forgive the person. And often we see that we compromise on big things, big projects, big accomplishments, services, obligations. Why? Because my mind got stuck somewhere which is not that important. So seeing the bigger picture is really helpful. Also, one more thing which can be helpful in relieving us or helping us to forgive is that seeing the positive contributions which the person has done unto me. There are always some kind of positive contributions, even though maybe very insignificant. We can contemplate on those contributions or say some positive memories, and we can contemplate on them. See, there can always be reason to love someone, and there can always be reasons to hate someone. Both the reasons are available. Now it depends on where we dwell onto. Am I dwelling onto the positive reasons, or am I dwelling onto the negative reasons? So this option, this choice would always be there. So we should ask ourselves, where are we dwelling? Where are we dwelling? So this is also very helpful in diffusing the anger and also giving us the strength or the courage to forgive the other person. Yes. In case we are not able to directly go and apologize, so in such a case, we can write SMS, WhatsApp message, or an email, or ask somebody, can you please, tell the other person I'm feeling very sorry. So this is what we can do. We can express. We can through somebody we can express ourselves. That's certainly possible. We can do that. But we must apologize, and we should also seek apology. That's very, very important. See, when we say apology on surface, then the other person is not really convinced. It has to come from heart, because anything which takes off from the heart lands up in heart. Anything which comes from the mouth, it may land up in the ear only. Anything which only starts or takes off from the intellect would land in the intellect only. But forgiveness is something which should not just be tongue deep or intellect deep. It should be heart deep. So when we do that, then, oh wow, that's wonderful. And gradually, when forgiveness becomes our second nature, then we are naturally happy. Yes. Once there was a sadhu, he saw one scorpion getting drowned in the river. He said, oh, the scorpion is getting drowned. So he picked up the scorpion and the scorpion stung him. Oof. Oof. But the scorpion now is drowning again. Again, this sadhu, this saintly person, picked it up. And as he moved few steps ahead, again the scorpion stung him. Oh, this happened a couple of times. And then finally, this person could make the scorpion reach the other part of the shore of the river, the bank of the river. So one person was watching this whole drama, standing on the bank of the river. He said, excuse me, man, are you crazy? You know that the scorpion is going to sting you. Still, you're doing this again and again. You're trying to pick the scorpion up. Let the scorpion drown. Why are you getting stung again and again? And then the sadhu, the saintly person said, it's the nature of the scorpion to sting. And it's the nature of the saintly person to forgive. When the scorpion is not ready to give up its nature, why should I give up my nature? Its nature is to sting. My nature is to forgive. So similarly in our lives also, there are people whose nature is to crib, is to do backbiting, is to have negative talks, is to unnecessarily criticize. There are people like that, and that's their nature. But we should develop our nature. Our nature is to forgive. That's it. So they are saying forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. But there are other options as well. Of course, this is best that with some of the people we forgive and we forget. Yeah. Some people deserve to be forgiven and forgotten because this person has improved. So forgiven and you forget also the whole incidents. Wonderful. Second option is that you forgive and then analyze that whether this person is still trustworthy or not. And you find the person trustworthy, so then after some time you can forget. So forgive, analyze, and then forget. That's the second option. Third option is that you forgive, but you see the person is yet not improved. Analyze, and you do not forget. You remember, this person has got his software. Something is wrong in his software. Yes. So I forgive you, but I'll not forget. I'll be careful in future because you are still not trustworthy. That's step 3. Or say that's the third kind of forgive and forget version. And fourth is that you take some positive action as well. Because the person deserves to have some kind of action so that there can be some reformation. That's why. So it is not just forgive and forget. It is forgive and forget. Forgive, analyze and forget. Forgive, analyze and do not forget. Forgive, analyze, do not forget and take some action as well for the reformation. Not that out of vengeance. No. But out of the sense of reformation. So in this way, we can certainly learn to forgive. All right, I'll stop here now. If anybody has any question, we can take a few questions for 15 minutes and then we'll stop the class. Anybody has any question? Okay, Divya has raised her hand.
Yes. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for the wonderful session. Very nicely you have spoken. There are a few points that is kind of take home for me. Is the lemon, where you gave an example of milk and water and the lemon, how if you have sourness in your relationship, it always separates you. Plus the lubricant of forgiveness, very, very important thing, the lubricant of forgiveness, and you also talked about how that saintly was trying to take the scorpion and scorpion was biting, but saintly person did not live his nature. So very nicely you have said. And with that, we will take a few questions. So we will request Divya Mataji to please unmute themselves and ask the question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you, Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such nectarian session. Your sessions are always wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, I had a question. If we are asking for forgiveness from the heart, still the person is angry, then what should we do? Like if you are constantly asking for forgiveness, then still the person is angry. So,
yeah. So in that case, you can render some service as well. I'm not just saying sorry, but I can render some service. Maybe you can, this person likes to say pizza. I make nice pizza. This is just a matter of, I'm just expressing my apologies to you. So please kindly accept this pizza. I offered it to Lord Krishna. I just made it for you. Please kindly accept it. Yet the person is not forgiving, you can still keep serving. Okay. And in parallel, pray to Krishna. Krishna, please give the other person the strength to forgive. Because weak people cannot forgive. Only strong people can forgive. And mostly in this world, people are weak. That's why it's so hard for them to forgive. So we should pray to Krishna that, oh Krishna, give the other person some strength to forgive me. Yes. In case we are having that weakness, then we can pray to Krishna. Krishna, give me strength to forgive. I'm so weak. Why can't I forgive? So Krishna will give us strength to forgive the other person. Those who are big-hearted people, broad-hearted, they forgive very easily. Even before the offense is over, even before that, they have forgiven.
How to have such a strong heart, Prabhuji.
Pray to Krishna. That's what I'm telling you. We should pray to Krishna. Krishna, give me a big heart. I got such a small heart. I can't accommodate everyone. I can't forgive so easily. So Krishna, please give me a big heart so that it's easier for me to forgive.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for your crystal clear explanation, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhuji. My mom is a big fan of yours, Prabhuji.
Mercy. Mihika,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you very much for that class. I learned a lot of new things like how we should forgive and like not hold grudges because grudges can make us fall, and how relationships are, because like I didn't know that relationships played this big of a role in life.
yes,
Thank you,
that's true.
Prabhuji.
You're welcome. Okay, you had no question, Mihika? Just want to say thank you. That's it. Okay. All right. So next we have Ranchor.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please stop my
Yes,
businesses all goes to Prabhupada.
stay
My
blessed.
name is Ranchor Das. I very much enjoyed your lecture. But I've noticed that sometimes we forgive, and then a couple days later, our mind will have some sort of chatter, and it'll try to induce us to go back on our forgiveness, to keep up the mood of being angry, or reimagine situations that cause us to be distressed in the first place, reimagine situations where we are hurt. And that's not good for us either. So how do we get over that? How do we quell the mind from doing it again and again,
Okay.
even
No,
days
when
and
we
days
get
after?
a wound, sometimes when we get a wound, so while talking, we often scratch it. While talking, we scratch it. And then that coagulated blood we take and then we crush it. And that's like a kind of a joy which people have. But then we see that the wound is now again, it comes back to surface. And now it was getting healed, but I stopped the healing process by scratching the wound, right? Similarly, when there is a wound in the heart, and often we keep scratching it by dwelling onto it again and again and again and again, that wounds will not get healed. What's the way in case somebody gets a wound here on the body? We just leave it. And the time, being a great healer, heals it. It's just that we don't have to touch it. Don't touch it. If you keep touching then, or keep scratching it, so then it will not be healed. Similarly, those wounds which are there in the heart, let the time heal. Just do not touch it by not dwelling onto it. When you keep dwelling that this person did injustice to me, nonsense, nonsense. May God punish him. May he rot in hell, And when you keep doing that again and again and again and again, so that wound would remain unhealed. We have to just leave it. Do not dwell onto it. There are many better things to dwell onto. And then, depending on the depth of the wound or the chronic nature of the wound, it may take some more time. Give that time. Krishna's time as a catalyst heals all wounds. Yeah. Is that
Yes,
okay?
thank you. Could you also speak a little bit about when the mind tries to go to these wounds and tries to reopen them, just to agitate us? How do we fight back? What are some of how do we prevent?
Idle mind is devil's workshop. When the mind is not having anything to do. Well, I got something negative to dwell onto. Yes, and then mind dwells onto it. So give mind some positive engagement. You can learn some guitar, you can learn some musical instrument, you read a book, you go and play outside, play football, do some running, study, serve your parents, do something like that. And this way, remain always engaged. And when you are tired, take rest. You get up again, engage yourself in doing something positive. So idle mind is devil's workshop. Never allow the devil's workshop get open in the mind by having positive engagement for the mind. So you can always postpone it. In case some negative thought attacks you, you say, oh yeah, negative thoughts. Wonderful. You have come to my mind. Huh? Yeah, we will do it. We will dwell onto these negative thoughts. Certainly, because I love negative thoughts, just like you love negative thoughts, I also love them. But let us dwell onto them after one round of chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, after one round of chanting Hare Krishna, we will do negative thinking. I also love negative thinking. You also? Yes. We love each other by negative thinking. But we'll do negative thinking after one round of chanting Hare Krishna. And after one round of chanting Hare Krishna, that negative thinking is no more negative thinking.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Morning it. Now we have Sagarika Taneja Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It's a blessing to be able to speak to you directly in person, anything. So I feel very fortunate today. So Prabhuji, my question is, you explained so wonderfully, taught us how to be a better person. But often people who keep on forgiving, they end up being taken advantage of. And sometimes, the innocence and naiveness is not valued, not respected. And then, so when to learn how to make that boundary so that you are practicing your morals and ethics, but at the same time, you are protecting also, from being impacted by the negativity of the other person.
This process of trusting can be a process. It need not be trusting 100% in one go. In case you feel doubtful about the other person, gradually we increase our trust. So that in case there is a breach of trust, it would not hurt you so much. So gradually we can increase the trust. And yet we should be ready. Even somebody passing all the levels of trust, the person who has reached the culmination of all the test of trust, yet there can be breach of trust. I've seen people being loyal in their marriages for 15, 20 years. And after 20 years, bloomed. Huh? How come for 20 years you were so loyal? After 20 years, it happened. So this can happen at any moment. So we should be realistic about the expectations from the people that in this world, the modes of nature are active. Sato, Rajo, Tamo. So Satogun, Rajogun, sometimes Tamogun also dominates. So in case there is dominance of Tamogun, the person can do something which is not so desirable, which was not expected out of the person. So this can happen with anyone. Anyone means anyone. But yet we will not give up our propensity to trust. Because without trust, there cannot be relationships. Yeah, trust. We made so many mistakes. Still, parents, they trust. They trust us. Right? So we'll keep trusting, although we can make it gradual. And that's there.
But Prabhuji, on our part, we should keep on learning how to forgive, right? We should always practice that.
We should practice what?
Forgiveness. We are always expected to do that in every situation.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So in case you want to stay cool, in case you want your brain, your head, your intelligence, your mind to function normal. So we have to forgive. Otherwise, that grudge will make us abnormal. People are not able to chant Hare Krishna because they are not forgiving the other person. While chanting, they have this ringing in the head. Nonsense. Why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? They're not able to chant. So firstly, I have to learn to forgive. Yes, once the forgiveness is done, then you live a normal life. Normal life. You'll be more joyful. So if you can't do that, pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, give me the strength to forgive. I'm so weak. I'm so weak. Why can't I just say, forgiven, man. Forgiven. So we should live life in the format of being detached also. Detached. More we are attached, we become weak. More we are detached, more we are strong. So in relationships, we should be detached as well. Not detached doesn't mean that you become careless. I'm least bothered. I'm detached. No, detached doesn't mean that. Detached means I have no expectations from you. I'll serve you. Say, being a mother, being a wife, being a sister, being a daughter, I will serve. But I have no expectations. You are detached. Now nobody can hurt you. A detached person is so powerful that nobody in the world can hurt the person because you are detached. You have unplugged yourself. You are there plugged in with them as a matter of service, but you're not plugged in to have some expectations from them. Nobody can hurt you in this world. Nobody, practically.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I hope I meet you someday in person. Thank you.
Yeah, someday, yeah. Where do you stay?
Right now, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, Prabhuji, but my home is in Ghaziabad. So I hope when I come, you are at your Dwarka temple so that I can come and meet
Sure.
you.
Most welcome.
Mhm.
Most welcome. Hare Krishna. Okay, now next is Manhar.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I really liked your class, and my question is, what if sometimes when you need to forgive someone, I mean someone needs to forgive you, and then that person forgets, what should you do in that situation?
I'm sorry, I could not get you. So the other person is not ready to forget. Yes.
That person forgets.
So he has forgiven you, but he's not ready to forget. Is it like that? You are asking this question now?
No,
Come again?
he has forgotten it, but that thought is still on your mind that you should ask for forgiveness from him.
Okay, the other person is so kind that he has forgiven and forgotten. But I am thinking that, I'm still remembering the same thing, right? Is it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, in such a case, I should go and say sorry to the other person that you are so kind and I am being unkind to such a kind person that you have forgiven me, you have forgotten the whole incidents, and I'm still carrying the grudge in my head. That means other person is ready to have warm relationship. I am such a cold person that I'm not reciprocating in a warm way. So I should go and apologize. Yes. And this can also happen with the help of somebody else. See, I don't have the courage to say, that I was cold, you are warm. Can you please help me and express my desire that I also want to become warm? Yes. I want to have a good person like him, such a kind person. But I'm so dry. Why am I so dry? So in this way, through somebody's help also, you can express your desire that just like you are warm, I also would like to be warm. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, so we have now Ujjwal Nitai. Yes. So here we are two.
So when I'm chanting, my mind goes like here and there to this person did that to me, this person did that, and I can't chant. I have thinking of all those people. What should I do?
When all of these thoughts are coming to your mind, so at that time you can tell your mind, my dear mind will think about them. But after chanting Hare Krishna, after one round of Hare Krishna, we will think about them. Just postpone it. Okay, so what will you tell your mind in case your mind is haunting you? Hey, negative thinking. So what will you tell your mind?
I'll think about that after I chant one round of Hare Krishna.
Yes. In case the mind says no, one round of chanting Hare Krishna will take 7 to 10 minutes. I want to have negative thinking now. So you can tell your mind, okay, if I chant Hare Krishna 5 times, then you will think negative. Then you do negative thinking 5 times. After 5 times, then again five more times. Next five times, and next 5 minutes more, 5 times more. In this way, we can keep postponing it. And then by power of chanting Hare Krishna, you'll be free from it. Is that okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Oh. Okay, who's next now? Kruti.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have a question. I'm I'm sorry if you already addressed this. I joined the session a little bit late, but my question is, let's say you and like we and another person have gotten into a dispute or misunderstanding or something like that, someone really dear to us, let's say. And after the incident, we got hurt, they got hurt, and the relation was a bit ruptured. But after a certain point, sometimes what happens is that we are able to move on, like we're able to forgive them and we're able to go back to how it was originally, but the other person may not be able to forgive us that quickly, and they keep pondering on that. And basically, because of one incident, sometimes relations are just completely, like, not ruined, but they become really fragile, and it's hard to really see the person the same way we used to. So what should we do in that case when we are ready to move on and forgive them, but the other person is not ready to forgive us?
Okay. In such a case, also, firstly, we give time for the healing to happen. That's one thing.
Okay.
Secondly, in case the person is way too angry, that whether positive communication or any kind of communication, he's just not ready at all,
Mhm.
then of course giving time is very helpful. But in case the person is ready to hear you, then in such a case, maybe through somebody we can express maybe through email, through WhatsApp message, we can express ourselves, like that.
Okay.
And rendering some kind of service, that's very helpful. So it can be
Okay.
some kind of which the other person likes.
Okay.
So in case a person is absolutely dry, very, very like steel framed person,
Yeah.
then it would not register to in his heart. But otherwise he would say, well, the other person is repeatedly expressing that I want to just normalize everything. Why am I not doing? How can I be so stone-hearted? How can I do this? And then this person would be melted for sure. His heart would be melted. So
Okay.
it may take some time, depending, how deep is the issue. It can
Okay.
take time. It can take even few years. I know some of the relationships that take even decades. After
Right.
10 years of grudge, 10 years of fighting with that grudge, finally one is able to do it. One is able to overcome it. So it depends on the depth of the wound, the
Right.
complication of the conflict. But
So all of
ultimately,
these, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that sometimes solution is just to transcend it. Because a person is so narrow-minded, so narrow-hearted that this person is not ready to forgive, then we have to transcend it. Transcending
Right.
means now going beyond the duality of being forgiven or not being forgiven. That, okay, Krishna, other person is not forgiving. I hurt someone, so I am ready to be punished for this. But yes, Krishna, I'm yours.
And all of this requires a lot of like patience and time, right, Prabhu? Obviously.
Yes. More we have invested in spoiling the relationship, now more we are to invest in reviving the relationship.
Yes, exactly.
So that's true. So sometimes it takes even years, even decade or so. I've seen people like that. It's really struggling. One of my friend, he had grudge against his father because his father was drunk. He was drunkard. So he carried grudge towards his father for 25 years. At the age of 40, he could overcome it by the power of bhakti.
Okay.
So sometimes people carry grudge for decades, even 25 years of grudge. That's like karma. Heavy.
Yes.
So
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Blessed. All right.
Prabhuji, we still have 3 more hand raised. So do you still have time, Prabhuji, take those?
Okay, yeah, I have to go for the class. Nobody else. I can quickly take these questions. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji, we'll make it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I really liked your class. So my question is that, so like being detached is very hard because you when you're being detached, you don't really desire for anything. So how would you do that? How would you be detached? Like,
by being attached to Krishna. When we are attached to Krishna, we are naturally detached. Like, for example, there's a glass of water. In case you are very thirsty, and if I say, do not go for this glass of water, But you'll say, but Prabhuji, I'm thirsty. I'm attached to this glass of water. No, don't go for this glass of water. No, I want this glass of water. Why are you saying that I should not have this glass of water? But in case if I put a glass of mango shake before you and I ask you, please leave this glass of water. You say, why not? Please keep this glass of water. I've got mango shake. Yes. By being attached to mango shake, you are naturally detached from the glass of water. Similarly, when we are attached to Krishna, so we are naturally detached from this material world. So in the way we live in this world, but we don't have any expectations from anyone. And in this way, nobody can hurt you. Practically no one. Because I'm attached to Krishna. Even if somebody spits on you, thoo, you'll say, oh, I'm so sorry, I came on your way. You were spitting. Hare Krishna. And you'll move on. Other person would be astonished. How can somebody be so cool? Well, because my heart is attached to Krishna. Yes, that's it. So from attachment comes detachment.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, now we have Sushman Roy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I'm happy to hear your lecture. It's very interesting.
Thank
But
you.
one thing my mind comes it like, what is the science behind about the chanting of Hare Krishna?
The science is that you should chant prayerfully, you should chant out of love, and you should chant with a desire to seek shelter, and you desire relationship with Krishna. Krishna, I want to be in your family. I am your part of family, but I'm to realize to be part of your family. So Krishna, I want to be part of your family. So with this desire, one should chant Hare Krishna. One should sit straight and chant Hare Krishna. Early morning is best for chanting Hare Krishna. Clear pronunciation is also very important in chanting Hare Krishna. We should hear more glories of the holy name to chant Hare Krishna. So in this way, you can feel this beautiful nectarian experience or phenomena of chanting Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, now we have Gopal Govind Saha.
How can I get rid from anger?
How you can get rid of anger? Okay.
Yes.
When you are angry for anything, firstly, you should not speak out anything. When you are angry, dare not speak. Otherwise, you will give the best speech of your life, which you are going to regret. I wish I would not have opened my mouth at that time. So pause. Pause. Once that lava, that agitation is settled, then speak. Okay. So now but you are still angry? Yeah. So how to take rid of anger? So take your copy and pen, draw a line. On left side, you can write what you can control. On right side, what you cannot control. So when you write this, I can control, this I can control, this I can control. Okay, now second part is this I cannot control, this I cannot control, this I cannot control. So that which you can control, should you be angry for that which you can control? No. I can control that. Wonderful. Achha, that which you cannot control, should you be angry for that? No, because I can't control. So when we become angry when we try to drag the things which are not in my control into the zone of my control. That brings anger. Right?
I have another question. How can we put more attention to chanting?
Okay, you can put more attention to chanting by chanting in the morning. Sit straight. Do not have very lazy posture while chanting. Sit and chant. No, not that you are walking and chanting. You can also have Hare Krishna Mahamantra written at the level of your eye level. You can also have a picture of Krishna, Radha and Krishna in front of you. And then and also you should chant in a place which is free of distraction. Like for example, in a living room, you can't chant. In a dining room, you can't chant. You should chant in a place which is free from distraction. It can be one corner of a room and there you chant. Or you go to a temple where you have few devotees and there you chant. You can have Tulsi Maharani in the center of the place and then in front of you and then there you chant. Clear pronunciation in chanting. In your heart, you can say, Krishna, I'm yours. My mind gets distracted, but I'm yours.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Might be the internet problem. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji is rejoining soon, so I request to everyone, please stay on Zoom live. Hare Krishna.
And I think after this, because Prabhuji has to go, so we'll make one last question. And then we will request Hari Lila Prabhu to thank Prabhuji. By the time Prabhuji joins, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, all the participants who joined today, we do have every Friday on Parsarthi, we do have a youth forum, and there's different speakers every Friday. So please join. And those who do not or who are not associated with our WhatsApp group for the weekly or daily updates, please, there is a link in the chat box and I'll repost that link. You can always click the link and join our WhatsApp group. So please do that. And as every Friday, we have this session for the youth from 8:30 p.m. onwards. So please join every Friday, and there's different speaker. I am posting that link right now, so you all can click and join that. I think Prabhuji will be joining pretty soon.
Maybe Prabhuji has another class or something, you know.
Yes, you know what, he did mention that he had another class.
Right, so that's why.
He said that he has another class starting, so somebody else can answer the question. Well, then we just asking the question, so you know, I mean, his time is over now. So.
Maybe we will still stick on for 5 more minutes if Prabhuji does join, because I think he did have internet that was stuck. So we'll just all wait.
Thank you, all the hosts, for hosting the program. Hare Krishna.
All welcome.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So I just got a message from Prabhuji's side. So Prabhuji's means internet Wi-Fi is gone because there is no light. So power cut. So might be Prabhuji is not joining the call. So we can wind up our call here, and whenever Prabhuji is coming from next time, so you can ask your question. Meanwhile, I write down Ananya's Mataji question. So Mataji, if I get a chance, so I can contact to Prabhuji and share your question. And whenever he answered, I posted in our youth forum community group. So you got your answer soon. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Bhavkar Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Bye.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Bye.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Vancha
Thank you.
Kripa Sindhu
Hare
Bhavya Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Sagar ki Mataji. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you can join from every week. Thank you so much once again. Hare Krishna.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. And please means convey this message to your classmates, your friends, so they can also encourage to develop their Krishna consciousness, and it's good.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. It's the first time today I found out that you have it at US timings, that you are having it every Friday.
Yeah.
I'll definitely let other
So
people.
I hope you join our community group, right?
Yeah, I joined it already, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. His Grace Amogh Lilla Pr ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Jai.
Hare
Hare Krishna.